So we're about to actually go over to the last point of the agenda. So we prepared a little customer panel together with Andreas and also Christian from Deutsche Börse. I prepared a few questions, but also I think we can also involve the audience, having the chance also asking directly questions to you. And I would say we kick it off right away because we are a little bit late on the agenda. No, still chairs coming. Okay.
Oh.
But maybe I can elaborate a little bit on the topic. So it's really about the importance of IT security nowadays. I mean, what we've seen in the last 3 years, Bailey, and also triggered through. I feel bad now if I'm the first one. Triggered.
Who's the oldest in the round? So.
But I mean, there's so many things happening in the world, and I mean that has accelerated dramatically over the course of the last years. And what we want to discuss are we actually doing enough in terms of security? And my questions will be centered around this. Asking Andreas and Christian. I'm allowed to sit down. So, and then please feel free to chime in if you have additional questions. So, Andreas, I would like to start with you. So you are now well known to the audience, both of you, but what are some of the biggest business challenges you are currently facing as an organization with regards to IT security? Can you explain a little bit more on that?
Yes, so we had quite a heavy drop down of the passenger numbers through the Corona crisis, and now we are picking up speed again. So our passenger numbers are increasing more and more, and therefore we have to get more efficient also in a financial aspect, because we didn't earn much money through the Corona crisis because our trains have been more or less empty. So this is quite demanding, and we are realizing also more security incidents. The threats are more active, and right now that's what we are feeling.
And actually, the same question goes in the direction of Christian. You are, compared to SBB, maybe in a even more regulated market, and at the same time, you have the multi-cloud strategy up and running. So what current challenges arise from this in relation to security?
Well, I would say in general, from a security perspective, as Deutsche Börse is part of critical infrastructure in Germany, I think it's super important at the moment to really have security at the highest level, because I mean, state actors which are running attacks, Deutsche Börse could be an easy target, because if you bring down the Börse as the exchange as a business, then it has a huge impact on the financial stability of Germany. So hence security has at the moment has really a super high attention and focus, and this is also, and I see there also the advantage working closely with the large hyperscalers who have a lot of experience also when it comes down to security, of course, IT security, to leverage what they can offer and really bring this into the portfolio of our systems, how we can defend these kind of attacks.
Cool, thank you. Any questions in between? Otherwise, I will continue. Now, Andreas, you described the business challenges. Can you be more concrete? How do you keep your organization safe or secure? What are you doing in particular?
Yeah, that's just a good topic, because at SBB, safety and security are quite close together. So we have on one hand our sales channel, where we have to protect our customer information, but on the other hand, we have also systems that are kind of steering our train traffic. And there is, it comes to safety questions as well. So what are we doing? We are, in the last few years, we have built up a cyber defense center with security operations center to monitor for security events and also defend against these threats. We have also built up a whole process of vulnerability management, so we can patch more frequent and faster if there are critical vulnerabilities. And yeah, sometimes there's simple things like asset management, knowing which services you have in the internet, where are which machine running. That's also an important part for us concerning information security and then also safety, of course.
Thank you. And then maybe back to you, Christian. We're in Germany, we're sometimes a little bit special. So if we think of cloud, we're not at the same time think of secure or security. How do you as a stock exchange ensure this level of security working in the clouds?
Yeah, I think what we try now is really to bake the security into the foundations, into the platform itself. So for us, I think what we try is to make it, especially for the developers, as easy as possible. So they should not really care so much about security. I mean, everyone needs to be trained, of course, and needs to be aware of security. But I think we have to take the burden away from them. So we like, and I'm not the inventor of this, but I really like this term of invisible security, something which is already baked into the stuff, either being by policy-driven, or something. And I really like this announcement today with HashiCorp Vault, with the secrets management. I think these are key aspects, and really thankful to software providers like HashiCorp to take this burden also away from us, because I think that's where we have the largest threats today is still always with exposed and exfiltrated credentials, right? At the end of the day, this is something which needs to get under control, and raising awareness with the people is one thing, but having a tool based and really baked into a platform is, of course, super helpful.
Cool, thank you. Andreas, what about zero trust at SBB? Is that known? Is that a strategy? Is that something the board wants to see from you? How are you tackling that? And do you have a strategy for this, you and your team?
Yes, we have. So we have also a cloud-first strategy, and for me, kind of the zero trust strategy goes hand in hand with that. For me, this zero trust strategy has kind of two aspects. On one hand, there has to happen a mind shift. Before, developers or the operators had the idea we are in thick walls and everything is trustworthy, but this changes. So this means every interface that's not authenticated or encrypted can't be trusted. So there, the mind has to change. And on the other hand, you of course need technology that supports zero trust. Also, we are using Vault for the identity-driven security.
Okay. Yeah. Quickly to Christian, is that also zero trust something that's well known in your organization? And
yeah, of course. I mean, I cannot say no, because zero trust, everyone has to do it. I think reality is you have to pick and make the right choices to what fits with the organization. I think you can also not easily turn around an organization 180 degrees so easily. So it's a journey. So it's a journey with technology changes, but also, of course, a bunch of changes. It will take a while because not every system today is ready for zero trust.
Yeah, maybe there's still a lot of legacy systems that you just can't put them into zero trust that one.
Yeah. And yeah, actually, that was my official last question. So please, please, from the audience, ask one.
What are some strategies that you use for shifting the mindset and bringing the organization around to understanding zero trust and the cloud security? Are there some strategies that you've adopted to help with that?
Yeah, so we at SWB have built kind of a community, a zero trust community, where different teams are involved, like the network security team, like also workspace, we from the application security team, the identity and access management team. So they're working together and yeah, bringing the message out to the rest of the company.
I think, I mean, there are many facets, right? But it's also, I think, also telling the people it's okay to fail if you don't make it in the first step.
Yeah.
So, I mean, culture and stuff, there's a lot of factors that in my opinion, play into this. Yeah.
Yeah, and that what you said, this iterative process. You start somewhere and then you move on.
Yeah, because installing a tool is one thing, but then bringing it to life, that's a different conversation. Any other question? Yes, yes, oi, no. You were first, sorry. No, he was first, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I would be interested to learn what was your thought process behind going multi-cloud, especially taking into account that you have to kind of double your governance structures and mechanisms there. So what was your thought process, and what was the advantages that you were seeing that it was so overwhelming that you said, okay, we go the extra mile here?
I think, to be fair, at the end of the day, it was not really a conscious decision. I think it was something which happened along the way. So you started with one, then all of a sudden, due to, let's say, factors like Office 365, you have the other one already automatically in, and then that starts to grow. And then at a certain point of time, there was then also the decision to have then also the third one in the loop. That was then a real decision. So there was really a decision to have a third one in there. I think at the end of the day, it was important for us to not concentrate only on one, but really have here a choice for our teams. And yes, you are right, of course. And I see that with my own team who's preparing the landing zones, it's a lot of burden, of course, to have three instead of one, obviously. But I think it also helps to find common ground somewhere. Yeah? So it also gives you a certain discipline that certain things needs to be the same in every cloud, because otherwise it won't work. So I think there's also some advantages. I mean, now we are moving to a strategic partnership, as I mentioned in my discussion. So we will have a stronger focus on one, especially when it comes to innovation topic. But there will be still always the multi-cloud aspect in it. And I see it also to have, one of the reasons also, to have a little bit flexibility in discussion with regulators. I think regulators won't like it if we say there's only one, but if you have the choice of multiple, unluckily all US-based, but still, it eases a little bit the discussion that there would be some kind of an exit strategy possible as well.
A question to you, Andreas. When I think of your rail system and switches and signaling and all this stuff, if I'm not wrong, it's probably not built to have modern communication protocols like IP and all these things in mind. So it's all the technology, but I think you do some things to bring it to the next generation. Could you maybe give us a little insight? What are the critical things or considerations you have to bring your system to, let's say, the future, or however you say that?
Yeah, what should I say? You have a much longer life cycle of these systems, and it will take time until they are also kind of online. So there is still quite a big wall between the light system and the other aspects of train management. So there is kind of a break in between still. And I guess this will remain for a while like this.
Just curious.
But in the end, in a decade, it will count as a client involved. Yeah. Good. Many more. Are there any other questions? Because otherwise, don't also want to, or we don't want to be stand in the way before we start with the happy hour. I would say we are over time. I think if you are okay, we'll close it here.
Yes,
And
thank
so
you very much.
many thanks, please.